Up. It's coming.
Yes!
Alright folks, this is going to be my review of the Eachine X4, also commonly sold under the top-selling X6 name. This is a micro camera quadcopter that's very similar to the Hubsan X4. However, the flight characteristics are much different. When you get the quadcopter, you're going to get a USB charger, a prop removal tool, and a spare set of props. One thing I want to note about the props is that it actually came with 4 counterclockwise props, and I don't know if that was just a bad experience on my part or if that's common, but it's just something to keep in mind. And I would probably order a spare set of props if I was to order one of these quadcopters. And the Hubsan X4 props do fit it, so you're not stuck trying to find the top-selling X6 props. You can get some Hubsan X4 props, and that'll just save you any aggravation or downtime if you did lose or break a prop and they only sent you 4 clockwise or 4 counterclockwise props. Moving to the transmitter. The transmitter is physically identical to the Hubsan X4 transmitter. It's not the same quality. It definitely feels a little cheaper. I actually had some trouble getting the batteries into it because the battery compartment was a little misshapen. But it's got an LCD display, much like the Hubsan X4, but it's kind of useless because there's no live feedback regarding how much trim you've added. So when you change your trim, you can see that it never changes on the display. So it's kind of a waste. I almost wish they just said forget the LCD and put a slightly better camera in it. But it is what it is. As far as the controls go, you have your trim buttons here. You have your left and right trim, your forward and back trim, your throttle trim, and your yaw trim. You have 2 buttons on the sticks. So your left stick will change rates for you. So when you push the button in, you can see we're in M1 right now, which is low rates. Push the stick, it goes to M2 and says expert, and now you're in high rates. So you have 2 sets of rates, and the yaw rate does change with the rates, but is not very well suited to the rate you're in. It doesn't seem like the yaw rate and the pitch rate really match well, so it's kind of tough to fly sporty. The yaw rate's good for a camera platform, but not really for sport flying. Your right stick, if you push that, you'll see it says expert again. Now it's beeping. Now you're in flip mode. So you'd push the button, and then at that point you would input which direction you would like to flip in. And you can see once you give it your input to flip, it will flip and then come out of flip mode. So that's kind of a nice feature. One last thing I want to cover on the transmitter is how to calibrate the accelerometers. So what we'll do is we'll bind the quad real quick. Put that there. So with the quad bound, what you're going to want to do is put it in expert mode. So you would push the left button, that puts it in expert mode, and you're going to want to put both sticks down and to the left. However, I found that if you go left stick down first and then right stick down first, it won't calibrate. You have to either do them both at the same time, or what I've been doing is just going right stick down, left stick down. You see the eyes flash, and now the accelerometer has been calibrated. So as I said, the quad is very similar to the Hubsan X4 in appearance, but that's only the real similarity between the two. It has a front-mounted camera in the nose here. It's a standard definition camera, so it doesn't have the greatest resolution, and it takes a micro SD card that slides in the back here, and the SD card is not included, so you have to supply your own. And to start recording, you simply press this little button right here in the corner. And you see that red light starts flashing, and that's how you know you're recording. And then you'd simply just push it again, and it'll stop recording. And you have to remember as well that if you don't stop the recording, it won't save the file for you. So always make sure you press that button before shutting off the quad or disconnecting the battery in the back here. I'm sure you've noticed that the quad also has these really nice bright LEDs on it. It's got white in the front, blue in the eyes, and blue in the back. And at first I kind of questioned this, but I have to tell you after flying it, that the white in the front really lights up the props and makes it great for orientation and night flying. I mean, this is probably one of my favorite night flying quads now. The quad's also pretty durable. See if you can see it. I'll shut these LEDs off. I actually did have to super glue that arm a little bit. It did partially break. You may have noticed at the beginning of the video that we were retrieving this copter from a tree. And I had actually gotten it stuck up there. It was about 50 feet up. And the fall actually broke the arm. But I'm convinced that it was because the quadcopter was so cold. I mean, it was between 0 and 10 degrees for, I don't know, 5 days straight. And that quad was up there for at least 5 days. So the plastic was cold and brittle when it came down. So, you know, durability wise, this is very durable. And it also comes with this prop guard that simply snaps over the motor pods. And it's very flexible, very nice. You know, and it definitely helps for indoor flying. The quadcopter uses a 350 milliamp hour battery. And with this battery, I've gotten roughly 5.5 minute flight times with the prop guard, and up to 6.5 minute flight times without the prop guard. So pretty decent flight times for, you know, a 350 milliamp hour battery. And you get a 15-second low voltage warning. So the lights will start to flash, and at that point you have 15 seconds to get it to a safe landing spot. And this battery takes about an hour and 15 to an hour and 20 minutes to charge. So a decent charge time. It might not hurt to get a couple of batteries so you're not waiting around for them to charge. Other than that, I think what we'll do is we'll do some flight footage. Like I said, the yaw rate's pretty slow. So what we'll do is we'll do some outdoor flight. I just don't enjoy flying the quad inside, and I really feel like you can't show off how good of a quad it really is indoors. So we'll fly it outside, and we have some daytime and nighttime footage from the camera to kind of show you you know, how well the camera works and what kind of resolution you get out of it. So that's what we'll do. We'll go to the flight video now. Alright, this will be the outdoor flight of the top-selling X6. Like I said, the reason I'm going to do the flight review outside is just because the yaw rate is so slow. It's very difficult to fly inside. But as far as being a good camera platform, you know, it's very, very smooth, which I like about it. But we're flying it right now in low rates. You can see how that's full yaw right now. You know, it just doesn't have the yaw rate that I'd like to fly indoors. The rates do increase. The yaw rate increases with the high rates, so we'll put in expert mode now. You can see the yaw rate does increase. Get some. There's just not enough to really get a good funnel going or anything like that, but I mean, when this thing needs to get going, it can get going. Now it's got some pretty good speed to it. Try to keep it out of the trees. There we go. So it's got some pretty good pep to it, and the yaw rate's not too bad, you know, once you get it up into high rates, but you know, it's definitely much better suited for outdoor flight. We'll bring it in close here and we'll do some flips, because that's the cool thing about this quad, is it's got the flip button, so, and it flips very well. Yeah, flips very, very well. It recovers fast. Really no issues whatsoever with flips. And it's cool, you can really get it going and do flips mid-flight. Just push the button. I kind of double flip there. I don't know what that was all about. So what we'll do here is we'll start off with some daytime footage. And as you can see, we got quite a bit of snow here over the past couple of days. Now, this actually isn't the height of the day. This is just before dusk, because I found that the snow was so bright, it was reflecting the sun so much that it was really washing out the image. That's a unique situation to snowy conditions, I'm sure. This isn't your normal conditions here. But as you can see, you can hold the quad pretty steady and give nice, precise yaw inputs and really get some good footage with it. I'm fairly happy with the quadcopter itself, and for the price of the quadcopter, I really didn't expect a much better camera than the standard definition camera. If you wanted to, you could probably put a Hubsan X4 HD camera in it, but I mean, you got to remember this quad was built to a price point, and for the average of like 30 to 35 bucks, I think they did a pretty good job with it. And now we'll move into some nighttime footage, just to kind of show you how the camera reacts to different levels of lighting in one frame. So we have the darkness of the house with the intersection, the street lights, and the car lights. So just to kind of give you an idea as to how it looks at night. And I thought the camera performed pretty well at night, considering. I was pretty pleased with the footage I was getting from it. And again, you can see you can hold it fairly steady for a micro quad. I mean, at the end of the day, the footage you're going to get with a micro quad isn't going to be stellar anyways. So, for this inexpensive of a quadcopter, I was pretty impressed. But that about covers our review. I appreciate you watching, and if it helped you, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe.